During the friends' escape of the winged undead hordes in Din Therum, trouble brewed outside the city. Misku was approached by a stately dwarf bearing the symbol of House Drac and his entourage, demanding to see Smethic Drac. As Misku led the dwarf into the ruin, the sounds of combat echoed down the halls. Misku came running, just in time for the party to close shut the great gate, sealing the undead inside. Smethic lay slain outside the gate, and Ahara had taken the journal pages and key from him. Reading the journal pages, they incriminated a Drac named Falkrun, who had made a pact with a demon, Zarzarig, for some unmentioned exchange. The demon betrayed Falkrun, who bound his soul to a tree on the mountaintop above Din Therum. The tree was corrupted and died, and the corruption spread to the earth beneath the tree. People of the city started to change, and Falkrun leveraged the chaos to move House Balfour out of the city and order the gates shut. Later, he wrote of sealing himself inside a room with a magical door and a magical mirror. An elven woman appeared from the mirror and offered him riches beyond compare should he leave his life behind and go with her, as she would return in 1,000 years. Tess was concerned that the undead could escape Din Therum and make their way into the world, and suggested the party make their way through the entrance which Ahara, Misku, and Antarius came in through to locate the mirror and seal the exit. Returning outside, Avamir, the stately dwarf seeking Smethic, demanded the text the friends had procured from the corpse of the Drac liaison. The party refused to provide him the text and made their way back to camp. That night, Kimram revealed to Ahara the results of research into the ancient texts found within the ruin. She handed Ahara a book that has several mentions of a House Balfour, including a crest of a twisted, leafless tree. Tess, holding the pendant to examine it, noted the exact tree set atop the mountain. The friends rested and made their way back inside the ruin to locate the sealed door and examine the contents within. All right, welcome back, everyone. So we had left off, I think, right in the middle of trying to sneak back toward this room. Ahara, you were leading the way, but you detect movement from down the hall. You can see several of the winged undead creeping toward you. They don't seem to notice you yet. You've signaled for the others to stay put, and I think we were just closing out Misku's turn at the end, which brings us right back to Ahara. You're up.
Okay. Yeah. Which way was I going?
You are headed this direction. Let me also do that.
Which do it again? Which cardinal direction was it? Was it to the okay? And
yeah, you're going
these chaps over here are the undead.
Those are
winged
the
folks?
undead. Yes, that's correct.
All right. Well, I have probably a pretty bad feeling about undead in general, and I'll probably open fire on this guy that I can see around the corner.
All right.
I lost my character.
You lost your character?
Just the character sheet. I have it now. It just
okay.
Too many tabs.
All right, let's get some appropriate music going because we are just about to enter combat. Actually, let's do this one. Looks good. All right.
All right. So Hunter's Mark, I guess, on this bro on the south that I can see around the corner.
He already appears to be rather injured, from what you can tell. You're talking about this one here?
The one that's sort of to the southwest of him.
Okay. Hunter's mark is up.
And fire. Right. 20.
Go ahead and... Can you roll this with advantage, please? In case you crit.
Nope.
All right.
Oh, I didn't have
damage.
Hunter's mark on.
What is, isn't it like a +2?
It's a D6.
Okay, so it'd be 14 plus 3 is 17?
And I'm gonna send Talos down here.
The arrow whips through the air and tears through this zombie, and it collapses to the floor. The other ones turn toward it and shriek.
Talos is gonna attack. Nom nom nom. Oh.
That is a miss, sadly.
All right. Well, then I'm done.
All right, Cyrene, you're up next.
All right, so I think that I was just investigating before.
Yes.
So which direction am I moving? I forgot. I'm sorry.
You've seen everybody exit the gate here.
Okay. All right, so then I would just move that way. Okay. And that's...
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to New Dalancia, our Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. In the last session, we had tried to continue combat, but we ran into some technical difficulties, and because we've already done the recap for that episode, I am going to go ahead and skip the recap this time. We're just going to continue right from where we left off. So with that said, here is a little bit of combat music for all of you. Can everyone hear it okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me give myself a little bit of... Okay. Yeah, cool. All right. All right, everybody. So we left off on Ian Fear's turn. Ian Fear, you said you wanted to use a Ray of Frost, if I remember correctly. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So we are throwing out that Ray of Frost cantrip. I'm going to go ahead and assume you want to use it on the nearest enemy to you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. So rolling a 19. Let me go ahead and link that in the chat really quick. 1d8 cold damage. Okay, yeah, that is absolutely a hit. For 7 damage.
It also gets its speed reduced by 10 feet until my turn.
Understood. Ooh. And that zombie actually does stay alive, but its speed is reduced until the end of your next turn. All right, Kimbrim.
Off the top of my line, I was going to say chill out.
Kimrim takes off around the corner, sprinting. She draws her bow on the way there. All right, Valphalin. All right, but Valphalin gets into position, but since he was sprinting, he did not get an action. That. Antarius. Antarius also moves into position, but also sprinting, so he does not get to take an action. Tess, you are up.
Do some measurements right quick.
So you've probably started to hear the sounds of combat coming from around the corner. It's rather quiet in here, so...
Tess is going to sprint down the hallway as fast as she can, calling to Fred. I can't control Fred up here. My
Okay.
corpse. I don't see him on the map
Oh.
anymore. I should be able to move him, right?
Yeah, let me fix that real quick.
She turns to Fred and says, come along with me.
Can you see him?
Yes, I can see him now.
Roll him.
Yeah,
Cool.
so he's just gonna kind of zombie follow walk after me.
He's a rage zombie running after you.
And that's about as far as I can make it.
All right. Up next, we have Misku.
All right. So I'm gonna move to here first, get an idea of what's going on out there. I saw a camera running this way, so I'm gonna follow in suit. Okay. And then I will move here. Oh, we have friends. Okay. All right, I will hop into the fray. And the one north of me is slowed, from what I can tell, correct?
North of you?
Sorry, I'm moving to the space. There we go.
Oh, okay. Yes, he is slowed.
Okay. I'm gonna start swinging. I'll swing for my first attack. If they're slowed, am I rolling with advantage or is it still a normal attack?
Still a normal attack.
Okay.
That is a hit.
All right.
All right. Let me go roll. All right. So you crush this zombie skull, and it falls over and dies.
All right. And then I will go ahead and pop rage for my next turn. And I'll end my turn.
All right. Next up, we have Ahara. Come back around.
I'm going to come around to down here just a step so that I can attack. And I'm going to attack this bird zombie right next to Valphalin here.
All right. Go ahead and roll it.
So let me actually move my mark to him first. And then attack. No, really. There it goes. 17.
All right, that is a hit.
For
Yeah.
17.
damage. Constitution save going out from the zombie. 13. That is a fail. That zombie topples over. That is a critical. That zombie is gone.
All right. And I'm also going to have Talos move and attack. Excuse me, attack other dude, flying zombie dude.
All right, roll it.
Oof.
An attack of 9. Yep, that is a miss. I'm sorry.
All right, that's all for me.
Cyrene, you're up.
All right, so Cyrene is just moving over, so let me do that here. Okay. And that should be my turn.
All right. Let's see. Go ahead and get rid of the corpse. Zombie is going to strike out with a talon against Talos.
That's a hit.
That is a hit. For 5 damage. Whoop, I got that. Okay. That is it for our friends here. Ian Fear, your turn. He's going to chat for the time being.
I'm gonna have to hold for a little bit longer, for at least this turn. I don't know. If one of them comes to try to attack me, then I'll try to take a reaction with an attack.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, that's gonna be it. I'll just stay where I'm at.
Okay, gotcha. Kimrim. Kimrim is going to loose an arrow at the final final zombie here. So that 17, that is a hit for 5 damage. Ralph Phelan takes a 5-foot step forward and he's going to take a swing with his greatsword. A hit for 12 damage. Zombies go. It's an 18. That zombie does actually survive. So although Val Phelan cleaves deeply into the zombie who reels back in pain, the zombie somehow manages to remain standing. 15. Okay. Intarius maneuvers around the battlefield, standing next to... Yeah. We're going to go ahead and use a smite. We're going to go ahead and expend a spell. right. Gonna make a longsword attack against the zombie. That is a hit for 10 damage, plus our divine smite is what? 2d8. Okay, so it's just 2d8. So let's see, we have 10 plus 11 is 21 damage. Oops. Zombie's constitution save. Oof. And that zombie is toast. The last zombie defeated. Last zombie defeated, we are combat. Everything starts to quiet down. You guys realize that it's over. Valphalin cleans the the viscera off his blade. Is everyone okay then? He looks around.
Misku just kind of shrugs and goes, "Yep, didn't break a sweat."
Well then, we should sally forth.
Indeed.
Tess, you're up.
Short disclaimer for those watching and those that we've been playing with up to now. My original plan for Tess was to have her speak in the third person, and Mark and I kind of decided we want to go ahead and go with that. So don't be confused if Tess refers to herself in the third person while she's speaking, because that's just something I always kind of wanted her to do. So that's a little change that's going to happen. After saying that, Tess still sprinting. She's going to move her way to the group and then call back to Fred and say, Fred, come watch our backs, please. And this little zombie comes hobbling around the corner. He would be out of breath if he actually had to rely on his lungs. But he seems fine.
Watching it, you might want to ask him to actually do something to protect it.
He knows what I mean. The intent is there. But Tess is going to, out of breath, she's just gonna kind of slouch over and put her hands on her knees and just catch her breath and say, Is everyone okay?
We appear to be.
Yeah, we're just chilling over here.
Whew. Tess thought she heard some struggles, so I came running. I'm glad you guys are okay. That's it for my turn, because I literally sprinted.
Misku.
Oh, we're still in combat.
No, we're not in combat.
Oh, we're not in combat. Okay.
Nope.
The music just makes it sound like we are.
The music? It should be stopped.
I'm hearing music. Probably from Roll20.
How come I can't?
Yeah, I'm hearing music too.
Where I'm at.
Nothing's... Oh. Huh. Well, I'm assuming tabletop audio is not going to work, so let's go ahead and close that down, because now I'm showing 0 connected players. Yeah, let's go ahead and close that down.
Boo.
All right.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, that's where I was hearing the music from.
Yeah, it was from tabletop audio, but I guess it like disconnected you guys for no reason. Weird. Okay.
All right. So Misku's gonna jerk a thumb this direction, and Have we checked down that way?
Not that I can tell.
Have you checked which way? Can you ping on the
Going
map?
this way.
You guys have been down there before. That was the treasury. But of course, you are free to scope it out once more.
Yeah, I'm gonna mosey on this direction. Oh, there's a lot of rooms here.
Ooh.
Looks like you guys put in a lot of work while I was gone.
Yeah, we made sure that all the problems that were dead stay dead.
Misku kind of nods in admiration at her team. Can I roll to see if there's anything that would interest me in this room?
You've actually been in this room before. This was the town square where you first entered. Well, after you first entered. Right? I believe you've been in this room before.
I'm not sure that Oh yeah. Is it the place with the where we found the drapes and the nearby was the rotten meat area?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Well, Misku's just gonna sit there and look around, and I'll end my turn.
All right. Ahara, you're up.
We came in from the north, right? And
Yes.
we're going back into the area where we closed them off.
What you were intent on, heading to was back toward the Golden Door. If you recall, there was a room in this area over here, or toward that direction, that contained a golden door with inlays in it.
All right. Cool. I will head that way. What's my movement right now? Normal movement?
Yeah, so it's normal movement. We're just going to stick with that. But you can always move up to a sprint. You know, other actions I'm not going to worry too much about.
Right, I'm going to move into this room. I'll call Talos.
You can go ahead and move Talos up to within 5 feet of you.
All right, and then I'm just going to kind of look around this room to see if I notice anything different.
Nothing seems to be different. The braziers are still lit from before. Still unsure of who may have lit them. You see the same writing upon the wall that has an arrow pointing to the east, and in the common tongue it says something. Well, it says, what is it? Residential.
Okay. Yeah, then I'm going to stop here.
Cyrene, you're up.
Okay. So Cyrene is close to this desk. Boop. And she wanted to investigate that.
All right. This desk looks like it has been pretty recently rifled through. Some of the drawers are pulled, and there are several stacks of papers laying around on the top of the desk. You seem to see mention of the last name Balfour, kind of mentioned over and over on a lot of the more recent looking document. One stacked toward the top, specific.
Okay. And then after thoroughly investigating that, which way were we going again?
So you guys came in
over this way?
Yeah, you guys came in from the north,
Okay.
but you know that you need to make your way toward the east in order to, investigate the door that you had seen previously.
Okay. So then I'll just go ahead and move over. and then I'll just be right here.
All
And
right.
that's my turn.
Cool. Ian Fear, you're up.
Okay then. So these things that these things that are lit weren't previously lit, correct? At least from when we came in?
You first noticed that they were lit when you were on your way out the first time, on your way back to the town square, just before you guys were accosted by the large group of zombies.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and roll a wisdom check, please.
Yeah, I was gonna try to see if there was any sort of like footsteps or like something in the like in dirt or something that maybe would have given a understanding of who came through here, but
Yeah, go ahead and roll a wisdom check.
Quick question: Does Talos know how to track? Is that like a thing that Talos ever learned?
That is a thing Talos knows how to do, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Ian Fear.
okay.
You're looking around for tracks and stuff. You don't necessarily see anything yourself, but you do recall that previously, when you guys were making your way this way, you were following a set of footprints that appeared to be dwarven,
All right.
and they also seemed to be disembodied. Like nobody had. This was the only way in that you guys could find, and and for some reason these footprints seemed to belong to, well, no one that you had seen going that direction. They would have had to have get past you, right? So
Right. All right. Yeah, I guess I will. I'll just make my way. Hang on. 10, 30, 40, 50. I'm gonna put myself over here for my movement, then to try to just keep watch.
okay, you seem to. Well, no, in front of you on the wall, there are a couple of arrows. To the left, some unknown dwarvish word, and pointing to the right. And that arrow is quite faded. Otherwise, what is it? There's some other writing that says east, residential, south, the church.
Okay, that's it.
Temple. Kimmerim approaches you, Ian Fear, kind of looking down the hall. The sooner we can get out of here, the better. This place gives me the creeps. Phelan's just going to go ahead and move up. Oh, you guys. This is Antarius. Tess, you're up.
Seeing that Fred has caught up to her, she is going to approach him and then link her hand with his, like she's holding hands with him. And then say, Fred, come with me. And we're just going to follow everyone in to the room. Tess pretty much pulling Fred behind her, like she could probably accidentally like pull his arm off if she pulled just a tiny bit harder.
Tess, if your memory serves, the door in question here that you guys have come seeking is in the very next room.
She looks up and kind of examines the room for a moment, and then kind of gestures broadly to everyone and says, "Oh, we're close. Tess remembers this room. It's just a little bit further ahead."
Misku. You hear the footsteps or the footfalls of your fellows as they continue off in the other direction. Before you in this room, a dead dwarf. Looks like a few dead dwarves. Some of the braziers are still lit. They seem to be starting to die out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hang out this way too long. They went this way, correct?
Yes. I'd like you to go ahead and roll. I have you roll. Let's go ahead and have you roll a perception check. Actually, no. I take that back. Let's have you roll an insight check. While this golden door that you've only glanced probably once in your time down here does beckon to you, there is a foreboding sense of danger coming from the west.
What's my full movement speed for this this turn again?
60, but if you want to go ahead and really book it to catch up with your fellows, I will allow that. Oh, is it Brazier?
Yeah, brazier is something else entirely.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sort of like
gonna,
being a brazier.
I'm gonna investigate to the west just a little bit. Let's,
Is the plural of that brazzers? Because if so, then it is actually brazier.
Fucking brazzers.
What?
Step bro, what are you doing?
No, bonk. Where is this golden door that I'm somewhat drawn to again?
So back where you guys came in from, you'll see if you kind of pan over. It's this direction. Ping on the map.
Okay, and that is the direction the team went also, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and skedaddle back that way.
You're actually pretty
not,
familiar with that layout if you need me to drag you over there.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'll let you go ahead and book it all the way over back to them. And let me go ahead and center your screens. All right. Up next, we have Ahara.
Oh, sorry. Before I end my turn, I'll just Misku walks in the room, kind of scratching her head, and just, hey, everyone be on your best guard because something doesn't feel right back there.
What do you mean?
Call it criminal's intuition, but feels like trouble's coming from that way.
You hear anything or see anything?
This whole place is one creepy factory.
And that's my turn.
Ahara, you're up.
All right. I'm going to proceed into the next corridor. And I'm going to kind of, keep an eye out and see if I can listen or hear anything around.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a perception. Ooh, Nice roll. So yes, you do hear the, albeit faint, sounds of shuffling feet. It sounds perhaps distant from the in the direction that you're currently headed.
I'm just gonna turn back and say, keep an eye out. There's more afoot. That's all.
Kimrim nods and kind of lowers her center of gravity as if to, well, sneak, right? Okay. Any other actions here?
No, that's it.
Cyrene, you're up.
All right, so Cyrene, after hearing this warning, is going to move over and stay pretty close. She doesn't want to accidentally trigger any potential bad guys, so she's just going to chill here.
Cyrene anxiously kind of presses up against the wall, as if to sort of also bide her time and wait to see what happens next. Ian Fear, you're up.
All
Ian Fear,
right.
you also distinctly remember crossing past this door, which you would definitely describe as,
Yeah, I
as sort of
remember.
an ornate door
I was gonna,
with these brass inlays and things.
I was gonna say, I think I remember heading north from this area was the bathroom area where myself and Ahara found that fecal monster, right?
Yes, the fecal fiend.
The poop monster. We had a real shitty time with that. All right. So I'm gonna now head south. 10, 20, 30.
Got these things on quick fire, man.
He's like a pun machine. It's ridiculous.
A pun printer, if you will.
Really glad we wiped that guy out.
We've got a.
Hopefully didn't leave a skid on our trail. 40.
Go ahead and get it out of your systems, guys.
Hey, keep him coming. Don't leave us dangling.
What, you want us to keep poking around?
Oof.
God damn it.
All right, I'm gonna come up to this. I guess it looks like that's a door here.
So yes, this is the door, like the door.
Okay.
So you, as you approach it, there is a. It has these very ornate brass inlays in it, and also inlaid in the door are these. How many? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sort of divots in the door, and one additional one, a seventh, set directly in the center of it all.
Is there anything on the door that would look like sort of writing or markings? Anything that looked like it would be a language that I could potentially read?
You start to sort of move your hand across the door, and where you think these maybe some kind of inlay or something like that might be, but you find nothing as you kind of brush the dust off this door. You do, however, note that the door seems a lot newer than the other structures surrounding it. So the walls seem to have quite a few more layers of dust than the actual door does, which implies that the door was put up sometime after this the walls were.
My main thing was just to see if there's any sort of like writing or whatnot that we could potentially read to see if there's any instructions or warnings, just the usual danger, do not go beyond this place unless you want to die.
No, but you do somehow remember that Cyrene had found something in the small bookkeep or the small book storage yesterday.
All right. Then yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll just.
All right. Kimrim walks up to you, or walks up behind you, and eyeing the door. She gets sort of a curious look on her face, and she's like, "This is very similar to another door that I've seen. Phelan and Antarius, go ahead and catch up with you. Once again, making contact with this door. Curious, and also very similar to the doors that we've seen previous. Tess, you're up.
Tess is going to face Fred, and with tears in her eyes, she's going to grab both of his hands. She's going to say, Tess has a big favor to ask of you, my friend. I hate to leave you behind like this. But I need you to watch this door and protect it with your life. Try not to let anything through.
Or at least with your own life, anyway.
So Fred's going to move into place, and he's just going to idle here at this doorway, just to guard from now on. If nothing comes through, he'll time out in 24 hours and then return to the afterlife.
He groans and decides
to follow my order. Okay.
Of course.
Okay, perfect. Tess will always love you, my friend, she says as she sniffs and wipes a tear away from her eye.
As you kind of look him over, you notice that he's wearing kind of a fancy vest, and tucked into his pocket is a cracked monocle.
Tess knows you are the fanciest gentleman. Thank you, my friend. And then Tess tearfully continues to step forward and join the rest of the group to see what's going on.
As she passes, Ahara is going to give her a look of extensive confusion.
Tess smiles at him and puts her hand on his shoulder as she walks by and pats him.
I mean, hey, I guess it's a step up from having an imaginary friend.
That's rough, buddy.
Then Tess is going to try to compose herself and just ask everyone, did we find anything new?
The door is
Yeah, I mean, relatively speaking, this door is newer than everything else around here.
This is the same door that you've seen before. You probably caught a glimpse of it as you rounded the corner. It's got the brass sort of ornate inlays in it, as well as 6 divots around a circle, circling a central.
So they can all fit my amulets that I've been obsessively collecting.
So you believe.
Tess's face lights up, and then she steps forward and says, "Oh, Tess thinks she knows how to get through this door. If you would, excuse me, please."
Ian Fear, I'll let you go ahead and take a 5-foot step if you'd like to get out of her way. And
Zoop.
Same with you, Tess.
Tess is going to try to fit all of the amulets that she has in place. It'll be a nice weight off her shoulders. It's been like, weightlifting while walking this entire time with these things on.
So as you start to place the amulets into each of the divots on the door, you find that they each have sort of a specific place where they kind of lock in and just kind of click in. So once a pendant is set in the proper divot, it sort of just locks into place and sticks there. Using the system of sort of trial and error, you wind up connecting all of these 7 pendants in a circle. And it goes a little something like this. House Alric, House Malborn, House Terrace Nar, House Godbury, House Katarn, House Balfour, and in the very center, House Drac.
Tess relays this information to everyone as she plugs in the pendants.
Ahara, this actually kind of catches you a little. Though you find this a little bit strange because as you were reading in the book from the previous night, House Drac is the newest dwarven house. In fact, it wasn't even known that they existed during this time. And given your study and the rest of the documentation that you found, including all of the journal entries, it seems that this was the era in which House Drac may have come into fruition in the first place. The fact that there is a door here that that centralizes House Drac kind of piques your curiosity.
Curious.
Tess, as you lock the final pendant in place, you look around with anticipation as if something should have happened, but that final pendant just kind of locks in place and nothing happens.
Not what Tess thought would happen. She turns around, looks at everyone, and just kind of shrugs her shoulders. And that's gonna end my turn.
Interesting. Misku, you're up.
All right. Let me get over here and take a look at this door. And
Once again, the door has a bunch of brass inlays in it. However, the rest of the door seems to be made of some sort of solid substance that is not wood, like a stone, maybe? Type of stone? Perhaps a metal.
Can I step back so Misku can take a closer look?
Sure, I'll let you take a 5-foot step.
I gotta ask. I mean, I'll roll the check for it to investigate it. But how sturdy does this door look?
Roll a wisdom check.
Ooh, not my strong suit. Okay.
That's a wisdom save.
My bad.
13? Well, it looks pretty solid. You don't make out any kind of, hinges or any other kind of mechanism that might operate the door, other than the strange, divots that now contain each of those talismans.
I'm gonna swing at it.
That is a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage. Your weapon just kind of deflects off the door strangely. It doesn't seem to leave any kind of a scuff or anything.
Misku heaves a big sigh, looks very deflated, shrugs, and goes, "All right, I got nothing," and steps out of the way.
And Antarius begins to sort of pace around back and forth, thinking, there must be something missing, something that we're not. Have we found anything else in the ruin that might regard this door? Ahara, you're up.
All right. Seeing how everyone is sort of at the door, I'm going to sort of move around the room. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of come over to the other side and just see if there's anything. I don't know, just keep an eye out and look around and see if there's anything interesting around the room.
Perception check, please.
One.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
Can I ask Talos if anything's wrong? I mean, he can look around, I guess.
Yeah, let's have him roll a perception check with advantage. Talos seems to look off toward the corner here. Seems to be eyeing it rather warily. This is a behavior that we would refer to as locking on, where he kind of like locks his vision on that, and as he moves, he sort of goes into a sort of strafe, if you will, ever watching this corner.
Okay. I think I'm just going to kind of announce that it seems that Talos sees something in down this corridor.
Whatever it is we're doing with this door, we'd better be quick. Have we found anything in this area, perhaps in residential, that might help us with this door?
The only thing wasn't there a key that we found with the poop demon?
I see not a keyhole. Perhaps the answers lie in the journal pages. Does anyone still retain a copy?
Is that the thing I have?
I think everyone has a copy of it.
Okay.
At this point, you guys can all. It's in the. We'll call it in the party inventory, if you will. So you can kind of always go back and check any of the handouts that you've got. Page 4 talks of a portal, a mirror. This could be the mirror that we're searching for.
They mention replacing a door, and the new door is magical.
Oh, it must be this door. What other door would not have any sort of physical locking mechanism? Yes, Antarius says. I can definitely feel magical energy coming from this door. Evil.
Wait a minute. What about this? What about that thing we found in the hand of what's his name? The dead the slain representative from House Drac.
What was that?
Wasn't there a piece of paper he was holding? Something that said what was that phrase? Prozaeth Slokjover? The one, something about the when all are in attendance out of the phrase at the golden door.
When all are in attendance, utter the phrase at the golden door. Praise Eth Slokjover.
Does anybody read Dwarven?
I can do comprehend languages.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you use comprehend languages on that. Tess also mentions that she can read Dwarven. She thinks she
It might.
need a
I mean, if you can, it would make it a lot easier because then I can save that important spell for like, big bad evil guys.
Tess is feeding the pupper. So let me double check real quick. Ritual casting. Yes, she does know Dwarven. So she explains to you that the phrase is process slok jover.
What does it mean? I guess someone should
I
say
don't
it.
know, actually. That one's, she says that's very strange. Doesn't actually translate to. Kimrim takes a look at it. Yes, this is jargon. I don't know what this means, but it's definitely Dwarven dialect. Perhaps an ancient dialect, long lost.
That would make sense.
The paper. I've already had you speak. Sorry.
Trying to see if I can, because I think I understand. I think I can get this. This looks like this might be words that might actually be mixed around. Like for example, it looks like the pros could actually be spare, and eth could be the. But what could those last two words be?
Hmm. Perhaps these journal pages hold a clue.
Yes.
What do you believe it means by when all are in attendance?
Wonder if that means the houses. What if we each put a hand on a medallion and say the words?
Interesting. I'd be willing to try.
Tess would give it a try.
Well, Valfalen comes forward and places a hand on the door, or on one of the talismans. Antarius follows suit. Everyone else?
Tess does too.
Sure, let's do it.
Yep.
Who is chanting the words?
Tess is trying her best.
I mean, she's the one who speaks, or at least reads Dwarven.
Mm-hmm.
Whoop. I'm going to go ahead and move everybody up for this. So, Tess. The phrase is process slok jover.
Process sloked over.
The door starts to quiver beneath each of your hands.
Process sloked over.
Quivering further, the door starts to become translucent, and after a time, it completely vanishes, revealing a room behind it.
Magic indeed.
We did it.
Peering into the room, you can see a reflection off to the left. To the right, a bookshelf, and against the far wall, there appears to be what looks to be a body.
Ugh.
What is this music that's playing? Okay, let's try this. All right. Cyrene, you're up.
All right, so Cyrene is going to, I guess, go into the room
Okay.
and take a look at this bookshelf over here.
All right. So, standing just across from you is a giant mirror. Um, so it's about 10 feet, well, it's about 7 feet wide and around 8 feet tall. There are very ornate carvings around the frame of the mirror. It looks very, very old. But somehow the mirror itself seems to only have a uh, very light amount of dust on it. Unlike the bookshelf, which is absolutely covered in dust. Many of the books appear to be missing, as if somebody had taken a bunch of these and left. Against the wall, or the south wall, there is a well, a skeleton. Um, Next to its hand lies a small piece of parchment paper.
Okay. So she sees that. How recently does it look like the books were moved?
Um, hmm. It looks like the books were moved long ago, as you can still make out where they were sitting by the other books that are on the shelf, but um, several of the books are kind of tumbled over. You can make out there's quite a bit of a layer of dust where they once sat, so some time ago, not
Okay.
terribly recently.
Okay. So then Cyrene sees that little guy going to move over and just pick up that paper.
Strangely enough, the paper doesn't have any writing that you can discern. Um, you turn the page over a couple of times. Much to your dismay, this appears to be just a blank page.
How odd. After looking at this, she's not going to go to the mirror. That'll just be her turn and hold on to the paper.
Ian Fear, you're up.
All right. Well, since this thing seems to be opened, let's make my way in.
As you make your way into the room, you see the exact same scene from before, along with this very ornate framed mirror.
Does this mirror look like it has any writing on it or any sort of like, discernible things that could be a language?
Can you roll a wisdom check, please?
Sure.
Let me see what skills do you have proficiency in actually. So let's talk about that first.
Well, the reason why so I have my kits, which are the disguise and forgery. I have and the proficiencies would be in I have common, elvish, and undercommon for language.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking through thing here. No, there is no discernible language described on this mirror.
All right. So then I'm gonna move over to these books and see if there's anything that is legible or looks important.
As you're thumbing through the books, they look to be various accounts of history. You see several books that appear to bear the name Drac on the cover.
Is there any that are? Is there one that sticks out that might potentially be the oldest, or like, one that might be like basically one of the longest lasting books?
One of the ones that you see that really sticks out is a very large book, and by large I mean it's very wide and very like it's taller than the rest of the books. That has the House Drac insignia on the kind of on the front. This one's at the very side, and it has these very intricate sort of inlays, almost like vines.
Uh, I'm gonna call this out to Kimrim and say I think this looks pretty important. It might be something to do with the House Drac.
Kimrim comes into the room, picks up the book, and starts thumbing through, and she's like, "Oh my! Oh, this is an incredible piece of history that you found. This outlines all of House Drac that is alive during this era. Boy, this is stuff that we have on. These are things that we don't have recorded yet. I need to get this back to. I need to get this back to the archive." She is continuously like thumbing through the book, and I will stay here a while. I wish to investigate these books further and see if there's any other information that we can add to the archive. Did you have any other actions you'd like to take in fear?
Well, I mean, so what is this?
A torch.
All right. Yeah. Other than that, I think I'm gonna be with at least with Kimrim until the rest of the party decides what we're gonna do.
Okay. Is that called a sconce? Is that called a?
Oh, what the torch is sitting in?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
What that's called?
Thoughts, yeah.
I think that's called a. So yes, it's a torch being held by a wall sconce. It is unlit. Okay. Kimrim continues to investigate the book. Valphalin enters the room and starts to sort of check out this mirror. Antarius also follows suit, both of them sort of investigating this mirror. Do you think that this is the mirror that we sought out? Sorry. Tess, you're up.
Tess is going to enter the room, then look at the mirror. A close look at the mirror. It's quite possible this is the one that we're seeking out.
What are... Seems a little strange about the mirror. You can't quite put your finger on it. As you look into the mirror, you, through some of the dust, you can sort of start to make out your own reflection. There's a light layer of dust covering the front of the mirror, which obscures your view.
Tess is gonna reach out with her gloved hand and try to wipe away some of the dust so she can see better.
Okay. So as you wipe away, this mirror is seems to be unscathed by time, other than the dust. If you wipe away the dust with your hand, the mirror actually feels rather warm to the touch.
Warm, he announces to everyone.
Alphalin also places his hand against the mirror. It is warm.
Has to be it. This has to be the mirror. It was written about in the journal pages we have.
Interesting. Misku, you're up.
All right, let's take a little stroll in here. Have we found anything on that body over there?
Do you say that out loud?
Yes.
Cyrene holds up her little paper, and she's like, "Not really."
Oh, can Tess have? Tess holds her hand out for the paper.
Tess can have, and she hands it over.
Oh, thank you.
Strangely enough, the paper is blank.
I want to
An
investigate
idea.
the. Wait, is this just a skeleton or is it like a corpse?
It's a skeleton.
I want to investigate the skeleton.
The skeleton has several broken ribs, and part of its jaw seems to be, fractured.
Looks like you had a rough night there, buddy. Is there anything else in the room of note aside from the bookshelf and the mirror?
No. Actually, yes. There is a small pile of garbage in the southeastern corner. Seems to be food.
I'm gonna look through the garbage.
Nothing much of interest here. There seems to be some fecal matter. It looks like somebody may have locked themselves in here at some point in history.
Gross. All right. Well, I got nothing. That's my turn.
Ahara, you're up.
All right. I'm going to step into the room here. So I guess I'll mention that not only was there a lot of talk of mirrors in the journal, but that thing that happened to us when we were in the other place, that Lady Evelyn spoke of mirrors. I wonder if this is all connected. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
This mirror is definitely magical in nature. You immediately sense it as soon as you start concentrating.
Okay. Do I see like the paper or anything else in the room? Is anything else giving off magic vibes?
Actually, yes, the paper is giving off some magical energies.
So it also says that it would tell him the school of magic, if any.
Oh, yes. Not quite sure about the mirror. It seems to have many different types of magic kind of flowing through it, but the paper, illusion for sure.
All right. And I'm just going to say this mirror is clearly magical, and that paper has illusion magic on it. And that's it for my turn.
Tess, as you are staring into the mirror, there is a sort of ripple that seems to move across the mirror. You almost didn't catch it, but as you're kind of glancing at the space where you have recently rubbed away this dust, you happen to notice this ripple kind of move off to the side. It's not, but there are free actions like talking.
Okay. Tess is going to look down at the paper in her hands and then look at the mirror after seeing the ripple. She's going to say, I saw the image ripple. Definitely something up here. She's going to hold the paper up like toward the mirror and see if like anything appears in the mirror image on the paper.
As you do that, Valphalin swings his torch around toward the mirror to kind of light so that he can see. And as he does this, you actually see some lettering start to appear on the paper.
In the mirror, right? Or on the actual paper?
On the actual paper.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the paper was magic. Words are appearing.
As you move it around, they seem to kind of go away.
Do I just have to angle it correctly?
Maybe?
Is anyone really fast at writing? I can have somebody grab some parchment and then write down the words that I'm seeing so that I can write it down instead of having to move the paper around. I'd imagine the words are like fading in and out, right? Is that what's happening?
As you're talking, you happen to notice another ripple in the mirror.
Cass is going to stare at the mirror.
What's wrong?
Keep seeing the image is rippling. There's a ripple.
A ripple.
Yeah, almost like
On
water.
the paper?
The mirror in the watch the mirror. At that exact same time, Tess is going to reach out and she's just going to poke the mirror, like gesturing to it, like poking the image, like touching the glass.
As you do this, the glass actually ripples from the point of your finger where you touch it. The dust settled on the mirror shakes off onto the floor, and from the mirror comes a strange bird-like creature that you have never seen before. Surprised, he makes eye contact with each one of you. He squawks. Ah!
Tess is gonna take a step back in surprise.
It's Frockadoodle.
Chanticleer.
No, it's the one from the Never-Ending Story 2.
Alphalin places his hand on his weapon, but the bird doesn't seem to react. Instead, he sort of steps back toward the mirror. Ahara, I'll let you take an action here if you'd like.
I'm just gonna grab him. Like if he's trying to move away, I'm just gonna like hold on to him.
Let's call this a dexterity.
Choke that chicken.
Do you say anything as you do this?
I'm just gonna say it in common and say, "Hey, who are you?"
So you do
15.
successfully grab him by his shoulder. As you do, he startled looks at you and he says, "Hey, who are you?"
I am Ahara
Ahara
of Dabalar.
Dabalar.
Curious.
I'm curious.
I've read of these.
Oh, Tess has read of these too. A bird human. Tess is trying to recall the name.
I
Human.
can't believe it. I've only heard about these. These are, aren't they something like the K? A Kenku.
I'm curious. Hey, who are you?
And then Ian's gonna point to himself. Ian Fear.
Ian Fear. Skit Row. Hey, who are you? Ian Fear. Hey, who are you?
I'm gonna try and like put my hand on the mirror while I'm holding on to him.
As you place your hand on the mirror, it seems to be solid once more, but the dust from before is gone. You can clearly see your reflection in it now.
I think something about that paper did something to the mirror.
So it would seem.
So I'm gonna point over to what did it say its name was again?
Skid Row.
So I'm gonna point to Skid, and then I'm gonna say Skid, and then point to the mirror and say, time.
You're saying what?
So basically, I'm gonna ask him, how long were you in? Were you in that mirror, and if so, how long?
Were you in that mirror?
That's what I'm asking him.
That's what he says. Were you in that mirror? Hey, who are you?
Yeah.
He still looks pretty panicked. Ahara is still kind of gripping onto his shoulder.
Tess is going to approach the mirror. Take one more look at the mirror to make sure it's not rippling anymore, because she's still holding the paper. The empty paper, the blank paper.
Go ahead and roll a strength check, Ahara.
$11.
11.
Yep.
The Kenku sort of yanks against you toward the mirror. He places his other hand against the mirror and he says, "My priestess. Hey, who are you?"
Curious.
He must be referring to the lady who's in the journal. I think it was a lady. Double check my notes. There's
I'm
a lady
curious.
in the mirror. Tess reads out loud. She just says, "Say the lady of the mirror stepped right through. Lady must be the priestess."
He says, "Did you read that out loud?"
Yeah.
He says, "Lady in the mirror, my priestess."
Looking at the Kenku, Tess is going to kneel down and give him a smile. Then say, "Hey, who are you?" And then point to herself and say, "Tess."
So he points to you. He says, "You, Tess. Scritto."
Scritto? You, Scritto?
His beak sort of shifts forward and he says, Scritto. I'm curious. Hey, who are you?"
She points to herself and says, "Tess," and then turns to Misku standing behind her and says, "Hey, who are you? Misku."
As he turns to look at Misku, as she turns to look at Misku, Ahara, you happen to notice that on his back are there are like two tears in the back of his tunic that appear to be where wings may once have been connected. Now there are only these small stubs.
I'm gonna release my grip and kind of let it free up.
Yeah, Tess is trying to make a connection by just kneeling down and introducing herself.
As you let him go, he sort of plants both of his his hands against against the mirror. When nothing happens, he goes, "The mirror, lady in the mirror, my priestess."
Scritto seems to be trapped with us, at least. She looks at Scritto and then points to herself and she says, Tess is friend.
He sort of cocks his head to one side. Friend, who are you?
She says, hey, who are you? Scritto, friend?
Hey, who are you? Scritto. Lady in the mirror, my priestess. Friend.
Okay, so a friend of the priestess. Tess is going to reach into her bag and she's going to pull out some of the bread that she has, some of her like stale bread, and offer it to Scritto and see if he'll take it in the meantime, just to keep him distracted from trying to run away.
He doesn't. He doesn't eat it.
Takes a bite of it and then offers it.
Oh, he takes it. He gobbles it down really quick.
Tess looks at everyone else and just kind of shrugs. I think he's stuck with us until we can figure out how to get him back through the mirror to his lady in the mirror.
And Harriet says he seems to be mimicking what you're saying.
Tess believes this is what this species does.
Intriguing. I've never read of such a species. I
I've
wonder
only-
from whence he came.
I've only heard. I may have come across a book, I think, in one of the libraries.
Roll a wisdom check. Nope.
I roll a wisdom check because I think I may have heard of them in like fairy tales or something.
Go for it. Not these. Not him specifically, but you do recall hearing of of sort of an old ancient Aryan race. But they had wings.
Kind of like the enemies that attacked us previously.
Kind of like that, yeah. They were called sorry, I'm trying not to say Arakara.
Do you mean the avian race, by the way?
Yeah, the Arak. Wait, what did I say?
Aryan race.
Aryan.
Oh,
Yeah, I did mean
avian.
avian. Yes. I did mean avian. Yes.
This stream got interesting.
Avian, they fly.
Avian. Yes,
No. You
avian.
meant the atheist race.
Yeah, avian. The atheist race. Yes.
Except
Much better.
our friend here, his
Oh,
wings
no, you
been
mean the
clipped.
Elamau race, right?
They weren't. They weren't the problematic race.
I have a question about our friend here. Does he said he's wearing a tunic? Does he have like pockets or any pouches or anything on him?
Well, he does have pockets, but you can't tell if he has anything on him or anything.
Like, cool. How focused is he on the mirror?
He's very focused on the mirror. He definitely keeps glancing over at it, as though he's waiting for something to happen. He actually is carrying a short sword at his side, but he has not tried to grab at it once this entire time. I think, you're pretty sure he knows he's outmatched.
Okay, can I roll a pickpocket him, see if he has anything on him?
You want to roll to pickpocket him?
Yeah, I want to see if he has anything important on him.
That will be sleight of hand.
Am I at advantage since he's focused on the
Actually,
mirror?
you're at disadvantage because he knows you're there.
And Tess is watching closely. She gives Misku this look like, I really don't think you should do this.
You failed that.
Tess reaches out
Well-
and swaps his hand, or her hand. Not our friend.
So Kenku does actually, or the Kenku does actually notice that you're attempting to pickpocket him, and he takes a 5-foot step back and sort of reels back away from you. Hey, who are you?
Just want to hide him under my little cape. My baby now.
Frantically, he looks toward the mirror and points, and he says, "Lady in the mirror, my priestess, friend. Lady in the mirror, in the mirror."
Tess nods her head and she points at the mirror. She says, friend Tess will help you get to Lady in the Mirror, friend.
Help you.
Tess will help you, Tess friend. You're my baby now.
He seems to calm down.
So
Kind of eyeing Misku.
Misku puts one hand on the mirror, points at herself, and goes, "And Misku," and then points towards the mirror and goes, "Lady in the mirror, name?"
My priest, lady in the mirror.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Tess looks at Grito, then looks at the mirror and says, Alfor? You Hey, who are you? Alfor? You know?
Balfour. He kind of like his eyes sort of glance over or like glaze over.
House Drac. Do you know House Drac?
Drac. And he like takes another 5-foot step back. House Drac.
I'm gonna go out a limb and just say Drac, not friends.
Drac not friends.
Not
Lady in the
friend.
mirror, my priestess. House Drac.
So Misku goes to the body in the corner and says, "Hey, who are you?" and points to the body and goes, "Friend?" quizzically.
He kind of cocks his head over to one side. Hey, who are you?
Guess not.
Guess not.
I'm gonna ask, do we still have that paper? Could we try to open it again?
Paper.
Tess holds up the blank parchment paper from earlier and shows it to the Kenku. And then she points at the paper and then she says, "Hey, who are you?" and then points at the mirror. And then says, "Scrito, friend," and like motions away from the mirror.
So as you do that, the Kenku kind of reaches for the paper.
He hands him the paper.
You hand him the paper and he holds it up toward the mirror. And then he grabs at Valphalin's torch. Valphalin, still holding his torch, allows him to sort of maneuver the torch in front of the paper, in front of the mirror. The light reflecting off of the mirror strikes the paper, and words appear.
Oh, the reflection of the light, Tess says out loud.
Paper. Lady in the mirror. My priestess. Friend.
Is the mirror a door to the priestess?
Assuming so. Our friend came out of here.
Mirror a door.
That explains it. Tess is
I'm
gonna reach out and poke the mirror, see if it ripples.
As you poke the mirror, it does in fact ripple, and this time as you poke it, your hand seems to start to pass through it.
Oh. Mirror is door. She nods and looks at the Kenku and smiles and says, "Thank you, friend."
And Antarius starts to walk back toward the door, and Kimrim. He looks at Kimrim and says, I'm starting to become concerned about the entrance to this place that we came through. It seems this might be where we part ways.
Are we going in?
Do we have a choice, Ahara?
Does not feel that way. It feels like this is what we came to do. Perhaps.
Antarius. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, perhaps Kimrim could hold the paper and torch for us.
Of course.
Oh, I'm actually gonna point towards the torch and say, torchlight or any light.
Any light.
And then I'll look to Cyrene and say, Cyrene, didn't you have that ability to use those lights of yours?
Cyrene nods. Close to her, and she's feeling a little bit icky about it. So she's not talking out loud. So she's just nodding and like glancing over suspiciously to this thing that could easily eat her.
Maybe hide back in Tessa's hood again, and before we go through, we just have Kimron hold up the paper, and you use your light spell to light up the paper around the area.
The mirror, a door.
Tess looks at the Kenku and she says, Grito, friend, guide us. Mirror door. To meet Priestess, Lady in the Mirror.
Scrito moves back toward the mirror. And as he starts to brush his hand over the mirror and watch the rippling effect, Tess, you start to hear an echoing, seemingly from outside the chamber. Sounds like this. Tess.
Just whispering my name.
Go to the temple. There, you will find a portal. You must open the portal and cross through, and leave the portal open behind you.
Side?
Forget the mirror for now.
Tess is going to relay this, call Tess crazy, but Tess just heard a voice in her head that said, there was a portal. We need to forget about the mirror for now. Do something with a portal.
Okay, Tess, you're crazy.
But if we forget about the mirror, there's still a chance that the outbreak could occur. We must cross through to the mirrored planes and smash this mirror from the other side.
Something about leaving a portal open. I don't know. I don't know where this voice comes from.
Antarius says, leaving a portal open down here? I don't know that I like it.
Tess doesn't either. But we'll go through the portal if we feel the need to.
You hear the voice in your head once again. It is very important that you cross through the portal and leave it open.
Tess says out loud, where is the portal?
The temple.
The temple. Just sounds like a one-sided conversation to everyone.
Yes, it does.
Temple.
You've heard her say, where's the portal, the temple? Scrito says, the mirror, the portal.
Perhaps you mean a temple on the other side?
Perhaps? Tess isn't quite sure.
The
Wait,
voice.
wasn't there a temple in this location?
Okay, yeah, the voice comes back. Don't be foolish now. I need you to open that portal. If you want, then don't cross through it. Just open it and leave it.
Temple.
On the other side of the portal, you will meet with a demon. That's where you're going to get your answers.
You feeling okay, Tess?
Tess is going quite pale, and she's just kind of like losing focus, and she's not sure quite what to do or where to go. She just keeps keeps relaying what she's hearing the voice saying to her. Tess could probably use a nap. She says, and then just kind of like crouches in place, and she's talking to herself about portal. Leave the portal open. Temple. What temple? What temple?
Scrito says, the mirror, the portal, the temple, the mirror,
Temple could be through the mirror.
lady in the mirror,
And lady in the mirror is priestess, and priestess is in temple.
priestess, mirror.
Sounds like our best bet for now.
It seems we have a choice to make. We either enter the mirror and try to prevent the outbreak from occurring, or we hear this voice out that seems to be inside Tess's head and find out what the mysteries of the portal in the temple are.
It's just that the voice has never strayed me. The voice has never been wrong or been dangerous. Every warning I've ever gotten has potentially saved us. So it might be best to follow the voice. Crazy as it sounds.
I'd like you to go ahead and roll a wisdom save. Something very aggressively attempts to move you toward the door to this place, like forcing you
The mirror or through the hallway?
through the hallway to the north.
Oh.
You're able to resist it, but just barely.
Tess like takes a step toward the hallway, then kind of stops herself. It's like clear she's struggling. Tess really thinks that we should probably go with it. Tess doesn't feel like she has much choice.
We have all of the medallions. Perhaps we could close the door and come back.
The door is gone.
Hmm.
Antarius says, whatever you all choose, I believe Cameron and I should leave the ruin and close the entrance so that nothing can escape.
Good plan.
Perhaps if nothing can get out, then we won't have to worry about the outbreak until you return.
Should we let Scritto go back through the mirror? Sure, he probably wants to go home.
I don't see any reason not to let him go back.
What should we do? Are we going to look for the portal?
Seems to me that
Tess thinks we
something
should look
is-
for the portal.
Yeah, it seems to me that Tess is being drawn further in this temple, even as much as she wants to stick with us. And I say we follow her through.
Very well.
Tess is going to look at Scritto though, and she's gonna point at the mirror and say, Scritto, go. Scritto, go back to Lady in the mirror. Like she's offering to just like let him go, because she did say that they would help him.
Scritto looks at Tess. Tess. Friend. He crosses through the mirror and vanishes on the other side.
My little Kinku friend.
After a time, the mirror starts to stops pulsing and rippling. It's again kind of looks more like a regular old mirror.
Tess tucks the empty parchment back into her bag with all the other journal pages.
Kimram and I are going to go seal the entrance. Good luck to you. If you make it back to this plane, send word.
Oh, we will.
You know where to find us. We'll be back in Bunavar. With that, Kimram and Antarius take their leave. Well, before they do, anything anyone wants to convey to them?
Good luck and Godspeed.
Thank you.
Remember, we can't let any of this get out of our hands until after we've made our way back to Bunab.
Any of this?
The books, all our information.
Yes.
Best kept between all of us.
We have an armed guard, and I trust no one better than Antarius and Govin to protect that at this point. We'll see you when you return. They leave. So do you guys want to just make your way into the temple area?
I think that's what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Are we, how are we getting there? We just beelining straight there? Any other actions you'd like to take?
Other actions. Tess is just going to follow her tuition.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just move all of you there. Go ahead and everything. Whoop. Cool. You guys start to make your way down toward the temple. It's just outside and around the corner, as you recall. Temple lies directly before you. As you see in, you can see the bodies of the zombies that you had slayed previously, laying about the floor. Other than that, it looks about the same. Tess, the voice returns. Good. Good. Now, find a way to open the portal, and you'll have the answers that you have sought for so long.
Tess relays that we need to find a way to open the portal. And kind of, can I step forward into the room?
Sure. Do that. We're going to go ahead and ignore the turn order at this point. You guys can just move as you see fit. Phelan enters. He starts sort of inspecting everything. Ahara, there's an altar before you. There is a sort of old, dried, caked-on blood and what looks to be a ceremonial dagger laid out. Along the back wall here is a huge, like, sort of altar fixture. Well, not an altar. It kind of looks like a portal, actually. But nothing seems to be happening at it.
Have I been in here before?
Sure. Yes, you have.
Okay.
There was a combat here at one point. There were some zombies. You guys slew them.
I think I still have that knife I found in here.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's the ceremonial knife. If I can remove that.
Okay, so we're retconning no knife, right?
Say again?
Retcon no knife.
Yeah, no knife.
Okay,
I forgot to pull it out when he took it.
no worries. What's next to the altar here?
This seems to be a ashes. Kind of like an urn, I guess, or a basket full of ashes.
Curious.
Tess is just going to kind of examine the room, the walls and the furniture. Get all in again.
As you're looking around, you do see the bodies of the zombies that you had previously slain. They're kind of just strewn about the floor. There are 3 of them in total. Find a way to open the portal, and you'll have the answers that you seek.
Oh, let's take a look at... I'm assuming this is the portal right here.
That's what it seems like.
Tess is just going to take a closer look at it and then turn around and look at the bloody altar.
There are runes all around this large sort of circular fixture set against the wall. You don't recognize the runes.
Find a way to open the portal.
What's this like wheel thing over here?
That is a what do they call it? It's like a candle stand.
Candelabra?
Yeah, candelabra. Thank you.
Okay. What about down here in this corner?
That is a piece of furniture that has a bunch of candles on it. There are also some various vials and things like that you can see on that.
This statue I'm standing in front of, is what kind of is it regular human or is it like dwarf or what?
Yeah, it looks to be a dwarf.
I'm gonna ask Val Phelan to just light all the candles if he still has that torch.
Yeah, Val Phelan obliges you, and he lights each of the candles he lights one of the candles using the torch, and then uses that other candle to light the room is quickly illuminated by this candlelight.
2 Hail Marys, 3 Hello Dollies.
What?
Nothing, just muttering to myself.
Examine this. I'm
Hmm.
assuming people were sacrificed on this. That look magical in nature.
Definitely what it appears. That's definitely how it appears. Ahara, you're probably still detecting magic. You can definitely detect detect traces of conjuration magic
Okay.
coming from both the altar and the large portal-looking structure.
What about the ceremonial knife? If we were to ask, like Misku, the knife, like where did you find it again?
Oh yeah, Misku pulls out the knife and kind of sets it right down on the altar. I found it right here.
Hmm.
Perhaps it requires a blood sacrifice.
I don't like this.
But like ground score, it's my knife now.
What should we do?
Wonder if the blood sacrifice is particular, if it has to be human or not.
Have any of you knowledge of the arcane?
I have religion. It's like a cult thing.
I do actually.
Roll it. This is a summoning portal. You've seen a couple of these in your travels, namely on the other side of the mirrored planes.
And I know that usually whenever we've come across them, there's been some sort of freshly sacrificed or something like that, just blood.
Precisely.
I'm not sure if it requires a little, possibly a lot, but I know that every time we've seen one of these portal circle things, there's always been blood around.
Guess we'll take a hit for the team.
I have my reservations about committing a blood sacrifice at this altar. Is there no other way? Perhaps one of the bodies around here, the zombie.
I like that idea. We should try that
Won't
first.
their blood be
Well, I
pulled
mean-
to the bottom of the flesh since they've been dead for a while? It would be cold, old, bruisey looking blood. Congealed,
Well,
even.
Does that matter?
I mean, there might not even be blood left.
Perhaps it has to be with the ceremonial dagger.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with Tessa's judgment on this one. She knows more about dead stuff and blood than I do.
Hey, we got a couple of people we gotta.
Yeah, I'm getting to him right now. Give me just a moment.
Thank you.
Go. Let me see the dagger. If you don't mind, Misku.
If it's you, kid, sure. Misky tosses the dagger over.
Tess uses it to cut the top of her forearm. Just enough to get like a nice steady stream of blood going, because at least she can heal herself.
All right, you start to kind of drizzle your blood onto the altar, and as you look back toward the portal, you actually do see sort of some swirling air to collect this in the center.
What if each of us adds a little bit of blood to it?
Hmm. Very well. Go next.
So, yeah, I guess I will take the dagger from Tess and, like her, go from the sort of the top of the forearm area.
Tess nods and she kind of says to herself, Tess never understood why people cut their hands.
This is dark magic.
I don't like it, but If it gets us where we need to go, then so be it. In fear, as you drizzle your blood onto the altar, the swirling starts to increase inside that portal. You can tell that this is actually having an effect.
Yeah, so this is by volume.
Sadly, I'll go next. Valphalin takes the knife and cuts open a part of his arm and bleeds out onto the onto the altar. Notice that his blood is actually sort of like a greenish color. Very strange. As the blood trickles down, it lights on fire like a candle as it hits the altar. Once again, the portal seems to start picking up. You start to see it emanating a low light. Ahara, Misku.
I suppose if we must. I'll follow suit.
Misku is you as well.
Yep, Misku shrugs and follows suit.
And Cyrene?
Of course.
All right, everybody gathered around the altar, and you, as you all add your blood, the portal seems to open. This swirling air sort of is set aglow, and the center of this entire thing sort of starts to very brightly glow. You feel like this is possibly enough for you to step through.
Tries to walk into the portal.
Does everyone walk into the portal?
If she goes through, then yeah, I follow right after.
Tess, you walk through the portal, and you guys watch her walk through, and as she does, she vanishes. So you guys all follow suit then?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, one moment. Let me drag you guys in.
The way out is up.
Talos follows you in, Ahara.
No way backwards. Gotta go forward to go back. Try to press on.
As you emerge from the portal on the other side, you're greeted by the light of what seems to be lava, fire. Before you stand four very curious looking creatures. Have you seen any of these guys before?
Certainly don't think I remember seeing any.
Oh, well, they have a certain. They actually do kind of look pretty familiar. Yeah. All right. So they do actually have a pretty familiar look about them. You had fought like a bearded thing previously that sort of shares a aesthetic with the way that these guys are. Misku and Tess, you guys immediately note these are demons for sure. They are. You just kind of feel an immediate relationship to you, but much to your surprise, as you come through the portal, while they are surprised that you're here, they don't immediately attack. One of them steps forward. Why have you come here, mortals? And that's actually where we're going to go ahead and close off this session. We'll continue this story next time. Be sure to join us next week, every Sunday, for New Dalancia, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Time, here right on this very channel. So we'll see you next time. And until then, this is VGpunx, your most humble DM and the video game punk. And I'm signing off. Keep a song in your heart.